Holds a doctorate in piano performance from Jacobs School at Indiana University. Used to teach at DePaul University in Greencastle. So has a deep history here in Indiana. And so without further ado, Max and Piano Club, we'll leave it to you.
Here we go. If it's not what you guys do, but I think it's nice that we should honor definitely, somebody who can, who's accomplished to play like you. You deserve good clapping, but at the same time, as I'm a professional, I have to give thank you to people, and that's the Pavane. And I think concert is not just one way. It's not like watching TV. It's a concert is like when you watch YouTube or video, it's only one way. But what's unique about the performance opportunities that we have interactions. Now, speaking of interaction, that's what I want to actually start with. What do you want to communicate with us?
About the ocean.
Yes, so let's go a little deeper.
I guess it's trying to paint like a picture of like maybe different scenes that have a boat on the ocean, or like different types of scenes, like maybe in a stormy sea, or maybe in calm seas, or maybe the boat's coming back from a fishing trip and going home.
That's good. And did it come up?
Maybe I tried a little.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm gonna actually have a specific thing, but I'm hoping that that's something that you're kind of curious to look into. One is about, so you said about waves, right? Ocean, right? So the ocean waves are very natural, very recurse, it happens, but it's very different from artificial, let's say, clock, which is very precise, right? But the waves are not. So there's a natural motion of recurring motion, right? So obviously, then you have, how do you make it sound natural?
Maybe out of time a little more.
Yeah, so he's clever, yes. Then how do you make it happen so that the waves are not planned, but more naturally shaped?
Maybe more dynamic, like a swelling and crescendo and decrescendo.
Yeah, but with the note itself, or the sound of the increase of volume?
The general sound.
So then how do we do that?
You mean like in the beginning?
For example, yeah.
I guess a little more intensity, going into just maybe press the keys a little harder, and maybe even like go a little faster in that area, so that it's like a swelling intensity and then relaxes.
Good. I think you got into the right topic. So how do you make that intensity and going away? What is our natural sense that we have?
Yes, maybe speed, how fast, the tempo, or like
Something that we have internally, every day that we are doing.
breathing.
Yes? Heartbeat and breathing. Right, so the heartbeat helps to create and regulate your tempo, which is sometimes, when you're nervous, it goes faster or slower, so that's a different topic. We'll talk about it probably later. But yes, breathing. How much are you incorporating breathing?
I guess I wasn't thinking about it very much.
So the breathing is probably the closest thing to the waves, the motion. And because you have a tension and you have a release, and looking at your shoulder, immediately I can tell that you're not breathing. So great that you have great facility what you have, and I'm gonna add a little bit more to it. But ultimately, the body is not reacting to what they're trying to create. It's gonna come out different. To me, the wave sounded very square. So then also another aspect of it. So you said that you have waves and so on. But when we are playing, oftentimes, particularly this one has a lot of arpeggios, are you thinking more harmonic?
Harmonic?
Yes. I hear lots of waves as in more melodic arpeggios, not the harmonic arpeggios. Do you know the difference?
Not quite.
No? Okay. Let me just explain that. When I do lessons, I don't just talk to him. So that everybody will kind of get the same idea. If you have, let's say like the arpeggio that I'm talking about, something useful for you to get. So if they have any questions, let me know in the middle, okay? So, for example, can I borrow it?
Yes.
So, it's this. Right? So, do you think of when you're making a harmonic arpeggio, you have to have a bass support. Then everything else is floating on the rest, so that you fill in the harmony. Where the melodic arpeggio, this, where if you look into I don't know, Beethoven, that's obviously the arpeggio is the melody line. Or any of arpeggio forms, which is like adding more notes, that's considered melodic arpeggio. But this is not, it's not. Maybe in a different literature, maybe it's okay, right? Then you have falling line. Right? And you probably thought of this as a melody, right?
I think of melodies mostly the middle line.
Right, good. I'm glad that you're looking at that. Then I'll help you with this. Can you make it more harmonic? So melody comes in. I didn't have to make that effort. So you're making the, so I know that you think of, okay, so melody comes out and yes, you have to enhance that sound with the accent mark here, right? But it's in pianissimo texture that you want to kind of pull back everything. So this is the, so then the background, then you add arpeggio. That's the image of a sound. Okay? Now, when you're making arpeggio, if you play, you see my hand? Right? Wave is like this. And even if it's the hand coordination between two hands, you have to create that. Because your hand is the one responsible for making a sound. If your hand is not moving, you're gonna get this. The sound is very clear, right? Like very articulated, and that's because you use finger. You have to move. And that applies to any arpeggio motion, like harmonic volume, melodic volume, then you assign the rest of it under harmony. Sound volume went up, right? That's because I'm using fingers only. But if you want softer sound, move your arms, right? So then it's gonna go back to the very original topic. Breathing. If you're not breathing, your body tense, then it's going to play like this. So you only move fingers. So I know it's lots of logic in there, like from breathing to sound, but I just wanted to give you because I see that you're a very smart guy. So I'm going to just give you a bunch of things so that you can do it. Your turn. Yes, do it. They're left waves. So we need a more bass. So can you hear this good balance? wave starts from here. Okay, so don't start right away from here, because if you start from here, that means you're doing this. This. So look. Look, you don't have a doctorate anyway. Professor Bologna, right? When he conducts, he doesn't start from here, right? He does this. Then everybody knows that you are supposed to come in, and you're going to breathe together, then come in, right? Same with a hand. If you start from here, that's your breathing. Look. And I know it's a completely, like new thing for you, but I just wanted to experiment. Okay. You play like this. He doesn't do that anymore. That's great. Now, the next is people think of this. Is that all? No. Like, imagine this, somebody playing a violin. Is there any violinists here? Cellist? Okay, great. So you know all this, right? How do you bow? If you want to continue, you want a continuous bow change. Do you play like this? Why? It's because this is bad because you're not involving up arm, right? Are you guys following? Yes. So the perfect bow change, turn is that you are involving up arm so that it's always continuous. Not this, because this moment that you stop the bow, then when you try to change, you get accent. Then you have a diminuendo and crescendo again, right? So if you want perfect motion, it's the upper arm. So, then what is upper arm drawing right now? Circle. Right here. Have you learned this? Circular motion from your right arm. Left arm, when you're shifting, cellist, sorry, I'm a cello pianist, so when you shift, you don't shift using your hand, right? You bring up your elbow, upper arm involved, and you shift. Right? Then when you shift back, make sure to bring your elbow together. Not just that. Familiar? Yeah. Right? Piano, same thing. You don't want one way like this, always up and down. So the arpeggio is going up, coming down, or if you want to do this direction, whichever is fine, whichever you feel comfortable, but it's always circular motion to make it very smooth. Can I do one time? Pinky to 3, slower motion. Yeah, to me that's how you sound, it's immediate. Like, have you seen his car, Genesis? He just drove for me, and I was in the passenger car. It's like, okay, let's go. And he was like, that's so fast, that's cool. But we don't want that in music. So we don't want to be. I'm staying a little bit longer. It's not the volume, it's the length of a note. So you are elongating that bass note so they get emphasis without accenting that sound. Does it make sense to you? Yeah. Baroque period, do you play music? When the piano did not have dynamics, Habsburg, how did people make different dynamics? Length of notes. So that's why when you learn Baroque, it's very important, aside from keeping the good tempo, you learn different articulation, right? And the different articulations, because not that the composer asks you to do it, you make a different voice on an instrument which does not produce dynamic contrast. That's why it is important for us to learn Baroque music. Yes? Do you remember this? I'm sure the string players is the same thing for you guys. So anyway, so you elongate a sound, meaning it's longer, meaning it's louder. Are you guys okay? Did you have a good dinner?
They're processing.
Sorry, I'm going a little too fast. So if I talk like this, it sounds louder. When I talk like this, it sounds smaller. And the concert hall, it makes so much difference. Not here. Echo in place. Right? I teach based on in the concert hall, not classroom. So then how you play, how you enunciate, how you elongate, affects your dynamics. You don't want to just play loud or soft. You change the length of the notes. So sometimes shorter, so it's lighter. Right? So that's why you have to stay a little bit longer. So that's why I said you're moving so fast. Slow. One time. Yes. Okay. And can you bring down your dynamics with one notch? So, remember, I said that the bass is important because the bass helps you to hide all your notes. If you don't play with this loud enough, this one. So we don't want this is in the background wave. So make sure it's not this. Can I also ask you something? Do that. Yeah, you're too close. So, yes, and you know the proper teaching position? I don't want to be, like a little kid's piano teacher. But if I am doing that, I'm sorry. I hope you guys are not sitting like this. Particularly when you play this kind of literature. Why? Because you move around, right? This sitting position does not allow you to move. We have to be able to move like this. Anybody playing his orchestra? So you heard me play my left hand pieces, right? So you see the guy was like this, right? If I'm sitting like this, how am I going to reach? 1, 2. If I'm this posture, how much tension do I have in here? Tweaking my arm like this. So I have to be able to move so that I can accommodate my arm. So this flexibility comes from good seating position. If you're sitting like this, we're not gonna ever. I mean, we can play Bach or Mozart like this. Go ahead. But romantic, yes, you need more volume, dynamic control. You need to have that so that you can move around. So I know you're not, again, used to it, but that's my recommendation so that you can move around. Okay? And don't hunch, yes? Good. Then when you need to be closer, move from here. No, not your head, sorry. Yes, yes. Okay, and then sometimes you need to go up, move from here. Okay, can I hear that? Soft pedal? Sure. Yeah, you can put both hands, but make sure you use a soft pedal and also a little emphasis on bass.
Is there a soft pedal?
When you see pianissimo, most of the time we use soft pedal. Particularly, this piano is a little bit crunchy sounding, so you want to make it very smooth. Then yes, I will. Remember, in the dynamics is not volume. 5 more minutes. Thank you. So what are dynamics? See, the use of the Masterclass is just in here, right? Yes, it's an interrogation to an entire class. If it's not the decibel level, what is that? Yes.
The size of the sound.
Size of the sound. Okay, that's good. But size of the sound creates what? Contrast. Good. That's very nice.
Expression.
Expression.
Echo. Echo.
Echo. Okay, many good words coming up. Yeah. So tempo marking is also a character marking. That's how I teach my students. Why? Is that if you're only thinking about dynamics as a decibel level, well, first of all, you should bring probably a computer. Measure your decibel level, right? But that's not going to take care of anything. Well, when you put Rachmaninoff with 4 fortes, how are you going to measure that? Right? So it's about fullness, gentleness. So it tells you the character. Even if it says forte, maybe you might have to play a little more aggressively, or maybe you might have to play tender. So those indications will tell you what character you have to play. So it's not loudness. And we're going to get into more of that kind of thing later on in other literature, I'm sure. This is a little more complex one, so that I can't talk about it. Tempo marking, same thing. Composers did not want you to play in a wrong tempo because it's a slower tempo. It's a different character. Right? So if I talk like this versus I talk like this. Different, right? Different, like you had a caffeine or not caffeine, right? Different character. And that's what we have to look at. Okay? Let's do it. So think of waves more in the background. And a breathe. Fa, mi, or do you think of
Second.
yeah? Can you do that? But you have to breathe. If you're doing pa, mi, right? You don't have to make us believe that you're digging in deeper. It's only 10 millimeters over each key, right? Dig a little deeper, then come back. This one. should stop, I think, according to what he said, 5 minutes. When you play cello, look, if you play like this, it's kind of, like a little kid's playing cello, right? Right? I did it in 2 years of cello. Yeah, and then my level is terrible. You don't want to hear me playing cello. My wife says, and sometimes my wife's practicing. My wife is a cello professor. So I grab and play, and then 2 seconds she comes and says, stop. I sound that terrible. So. But that's because I don't know how to coordinate it very well. But this affects the sound. I'm sure you guys know, right? If you don't use your upper arm, your sound is terrible because you're pushing. There's no pronation in the sound. You can't turn, right? So that your sound gets really bad. So that's what I do, squeaky sound on the cello. So piano is the same thing. You have a little bit of a tendency to bring down your wrist like this and you rely on your fingers. But piano playing, particularly this kind of literature that we need from here. So I want to experiment some literature. If you have no problem to playing this kind of literature, I'm sure you can look into some Chopins and so on. I want to experiment on waves. I mean, I don't want to embarrass you, but can I just work? Arpeggio is played this way, right? Not. Maybe you don't hear, but you don't see my arm motion. Can you tell I have accent? So that happens if your wrist is not connected. So you have to redraw arpeggio. Otherwise, you don't have a control. You don't have, most importantly, the connection between here. So if you try to do this, then you have a hiccup. I want to kind of experiment with that. Huh?
Yeah.
But excellent job. Really good. So my question, is this number 12 or number 31? 12. 12. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, good. I want to talk about, you have even more tension than Max, right? And how we can tell is not because of how we are playing. It's simply, if you look at the fingers, non-playing fingers, what they're doing. So you say that you have a cellist and a violinist, right? Then have you seen somebody in a vibrating and they have a pinky like sticking up like that? What this? I have a student who was doing this kind of thing. He said, why are you hitchhiking? I'm trying to catch it, right? I haven't seen that kind of thing. But anyway, non-playing fingers is where you can tell whether you have attention. When you play the last chord, can you play the last one? Relax. Release your tension. Yeah. Can you also release your pinky tension? Yeah. There you go. So I just want to get into a little bit of that. Obviously, when you have attention, you're not breathing. Breathe. Breathe not in. Breathe in the tension, right? So breathe out so that your muscles are loose. So that's very important. But why it is very important that we need to be released is one is sound quality. Particularly in this piece, it's very difficult. If you don't use a pedal, you have repeated notes. Again, string plays around here, right? Other people play what? Something else? Flute? Alto sax, great. Yeah? Did you know that the piano, the worst kind of passage is nothing about this or third or sixth? It's simply repeated notes. Which in other instrument you guys don't have any problem. You know, same position, right? Same note. What is the difficult? For us, same note is the most difficult thing. Right? Because how do you continue? If it's a staccato, I mean, even this kind of thing is very hard, right? Repeated notes, right? But continuous note. So, of course, I play without the pedal. Now, this, you know what this is the name for this technique? How to make a sound continuous without the pedal. Sorry? Very good. Very, very close. Yes. Finger pedal. Yes. So, yes, that's the clear technique. We have a variety of pedal techniques, and this is one of them without using foot. So, we need that one, but then also you have to release your tension. Okay. By the way, I am going to also enhance this thing. I'm going to put lots of information for you guys because you can take it, right? You guys are like a USB flash drive type of people, right? Like it's so smart. You have a lot of information I can give you, right? Even if you don't understand. Right? So why, for me, what's emphasizing this, that is when you're tense, you can't move this. So you make a fist, you try to do bye-bye, you can't do it because it's so tense. No, you have to grab, very tense up. And you try to do this. It doesn't work. Right? So you release your tension, then you can move. Right? So when you're grabbing chord, if your wrist is rigid, that means you have a tension. Once you put down a chord, force, weight, whatever it is, and you have to release your tension. And the easiest way to check that tension release is, one, your fingers up. So like this. You see that? This is tension. Right? So you're able to release. So that's one way of looking at it. The other way is that if you can move your wrist. So this. And then now you see that I'm using also upper arm, right? It's not just here, because that's also tension. You bring it up with the upper arm, so then you can check your hands don't have a tension. Okay, so that's what I'm going to explain. Okay, and then go ahead, put a pedal in the beginning so that I know it's very difficult to do finger pedal. sure that you play the chord together. Yeah, because you are arpeggiating. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. You have to be very careful not to arpeggiate.
So what's the use of pedal?
You can use it, yeah, but don't arpeggiate. Yeah, then you are releasing. Loose. Your wrist is loose. Not here, it's here. Yeah. Are you breathing? Because you know, if you're not breathing, you're probably yes. By the way, can I ask you this thing, smart guys, right? Why do you need to be loose? Very simple answer, right? For the dexterity. If you're not loose, how long are you going to play? 5 minutes? And you're done? What are you going to do with the concerto? 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So for the endurance purpose, of course, you're not loose. But did you know there are many other reasons why you need to be loose? About for safety, security of your body. And you're like, what can we do, right? Okay, give you an example. Can I go, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Have you heard of this? Are you playing that? Okay, so this part you know, right? Our part, right? Now, you know what I demonstrate right now? Where was I looking? Yeah? Do you see how much of octave? Why am I playing without looking? How can I tell what I'm playing? And again, when I do this to the kids, and the kids are like, oh, you have an eye here, right? Go ahead, look. I have a special glasses, I can see it.
Is it muscle memory?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, of course you have to know what, right? Yeah, muscle memory is one. But, okay, I see myself here. Okay, I'm not looking. How do I know?
Also feel with your fingers.
Exactly. So, remember I said earlier, what are your non-playing fingers doing? When I play G, my middle finger, which is on a B flat, and that's how I know it's G. You get it? So then I play B flat, D, G, again I'm not looking. I'm feeling with the non-playing fingers. So if your hands, if your fingers are not loose, you're not detecting your fingers, your positions. So you don't know where you are anymore. So that's why you want to be loose and then making sure constantly you go ahead and feel. And that's why it is very important for us to be loose, so that you can always feel, and that's what you need to practice. That's why you practice it. Then, I know you have eyes. Yes, you can watch, go ahead, but that's to secure your technique. Just to make sure, just in case something happens. Not every piano is the same size. Sometimes I remember like one piano at the Indiana, that there was one note I couldn't fit my middle finger because it's narrow, right here. So I couldn't put my finger. Yes, that kind of thing happens. So you have to know, you have to visually see and making sure, double check, right? But most of the time you learn everything by feel. And that's why you practice. And yes, muscle memory is one, but most importantly, muscle memory is more about like with a trash can and try to throw paper or something like that. That's a muscle memory. Because you don't have tactful sensation to get there. But this one, you can feel the keys. So you have to always feel the keys. Have you heard of this, the Brazilian way of teaching soccer to the little kids? You give a ball to the little kids to stay with the ball all day long, except for when they go to bed. So once they get out of bed, the ball is right there, and they have to live with it. Why? Because they want the little kid to feel the ball is nearby your foot. So then even if it goes away, he knows where it is, without looking. That's why the soccer player from Brazil is very good, right? They're crazy good, right? And that's because they are getting that sense from a little kid. So for us, it's the same thing. Our fingers are the sensory, like those antennas on the ants. They are chicken. And they are not like this, right? Not tension, right? Loose. And that's what we have to do with the piano player. And I know it sounds like a joke, but I proved it to you, right? Already. Many repertoire I remember is not because of the visual thing. I can play many repertoire without looking. Right? So, make sure to be loose. Attention to your right hand. I understand because it's a chord, right? But it's the funeral march, right? It's a step. Step comes from low, right? You need a bass. And it's not happy funeral march, right? Can I just hear that? Just that, the left hand. Sing, breathe out. With a more good sound like a trombone. One time. Good. Can you create that articulation in the right hand? They're heavier, right? Full sense? That's it. Not this. Yes. Every note in this piece, it's not short staccato. Otherwise, it sounds like, oh, I'm happy that this person died. That's why I'm skipping. Yes. Right? So you want to be very heavy, hearted. Happy here. Yes. minutes? Okay, good. More singing continues, right? And also maybe one more thing that I wanted to think about. Pianists, we focus on, oh, you play right now. At that moment you feel so relaxed. Don't you think? You know, if you have a big jump in you hit the right note. But oftentimes we talk about it, a piano is a very boring instrument because all the sound is the same. Right? Like strings, you guys have a different thickness of the sound, different strings. So in the same C, cellist, help me. The middle C, you play on the second position, right? No, first position is the second finger on A string. And the D string you play is the last position, the second position? Middle C, right? So anyway, so you can play middle C with 4 different strings. And what are the qualities? Obviously A string is very bright, D is a little bit less, and as you go the G and the C is like an elephant kind of sound, right? It's very muffled and But why do we have that? It's a color. That's why you choose different strings so that you can create same pitch but with different strings. Well, can I do that? Middle C is always middle C. So who is responsible for changing it? Us. So if we are not thinking what kind of color we want, it's not going to change. So we have to always think about this register, always a different sound. Woodwind ensemble, piccolo, flute, and then oboe, clarinet, bassoon, all have a different kind of sound. Metallic sound for instruments, and oboe is nasal, and bassoon is a little bit nasal, but it's more bright, the bigger sound. And the most important, clarinet doesn't have a vibrato. You know all these characters, right? Yes, my kid, right? Yeah. So we apply same ideas. If you're imitating clarinet, no vibrato. Very straight tone. Oboe, it's a very delicate sound. And we have to think about that before we go to the piano because everything comes out same way if we don't think of it. Okay? Connecting, same idea. When you play this is a long note connecting to the next pitch. Or is this just that and this connecting sound? If we don't make it happen, the piano sound always decays. So you are the one who have to think more like other instrument that you're playing on. Otherwise, nobody's making crescendo. So first E flat. Is that just a decay? Why is that the pa-da-dum? Is it the same bow? Pa-da-da. Or is it the pam-pa-da, pam-ta-da? All the different bow that you can think of, right? So then that bowing basically affects how the sound is projected and continues to the next note. start thinking more of what are you gonna do while you're holding the notes. Is it crescendo, diminuendo, sustaining, many varieties you can do. So, but that's to release your tension. If you're holding this, the sound will come up more, very square. Okay? This is 5 minutes, he's practicing. Okay. This. No. You don't have to. Are you holding the pedal? I see the pedal. Yeah, this is pedaling is different from that one. What are you thinking of this?
It's like a drumming motion, like something like.
Okay, he finally died. Yay! Right? Drum. Okay, can I hear that? Then this is the last one. Can you make us believe we are doing this? Drum roll. Drum. And trumpet. Continue. Good. Can I hear the trumpet? So, can you balance that? The top. And then your right hand less Okay, bring up your wrist slightly higher so it's easy to control. Good. So when you have bunch of lots of register you're going through on the piano, that as I told you that we want to change the color. Low register sound, which is higher register. I do much more bright colors, right? That's because I play different register. And we have to be, that's what I said about the different strings. You have to be conscious about what register you're using. So can you make that difference? Because that's a big contrast from the beginning, which is the same register. Here, you jump around.
From this point on.
Yeah, so more bass. Bass. So, this sound and getting better. You can do even more because in the piano music, again, this is something I didn't explain right at the beginning because of the Ravel. It was a great music. What makes a difference from us to other instruments is that they can't play accompaniment and play solo, right? Like a solo line. But we can do it. That's why we call the king of instrument. Yes, yes, he doesn't like that. Conductor is a king, right? Anyway, whatever the nickname that we have, our duty, most priority important is not about technique or anything else. That you have to make us believe there is a depth. Otherwise, we can't hear a melody. So as simple as I have up and down in my melody, but my melody is always heard over my left hand. And do you hear my left hand? It's not. Remember earlier I talked about arpeggio, melodic and harmonic. This is a harmonic. So you taper the sound so that it's not contrasting to your right hand melody, which is consistent volume. So that why I do that is that I have to make a layer so that you can hear my melody very clear. Right? So particularly if you're going through many different registers, you want to highlight not everything. Bring out a good part of the register so that you make a different contrast. And why, if you are playing multiple registers, yes, you make different hierarchies. Okay? So that's how you make a contrast properly, because this is very monotone, this is more colorful. Questions?
Any more questions?
Yes, anything?
No, I think that's all the questions I have.
I can hear your passion to play piano, and it's very appreciated.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. So as simple as like playing Chopin waltz. You have 3 lines. That's the first priority of the pianist. To see the layers so that, have you seen like those little kids that draw a picture and of a scenery and everything looks, kind of all the same colors, and that's because the picture doesn't have any distance. So if you play like, that's exactly what's what. Everything forte, everything piano. And then earlier I talked about the dynamics, right? Dynamics is a character marking. This is piano right at the beginning. The way I play my melody piano, then this happens. I'm playing the same dynamics for everything. So, how do I make a piano? You balance it up. Melody is a little bit louder. Bass is louder, but accompanying is much softer. Dynamics for me, decibel level is always a problem. The decibel levels are different depending on the voicing. So composer put dynamics marking piano forte at the beginning of the section and so on. That's not volume assignment. So that's why I said it's a character marking, not decibel level assignment. Anyway, next. quiet like this?
No.
No? Are you guys not the party people? Depends, okay, yes. I thought in a piano club is more like a party.
Kind of like a party.
Because it's not the requirement of
The party is after,
Yeah.
but you're not in the.
Okay. I take that. sensitive, very nice. Okay. Do you guys have a language requirement here in the school? Do you have to take foreign language?
Foreign language?
Yeah.
I think they
Who speaks French here?
I'm from Canada.
Ah,
I speak a bit of English.
wonderful. You know why? Okay, so let's decipher.
I usually have to pull up the translator.
Yes, do you remember those?
Some of them.
Are you following those? Do you understand them?
Which one do you have in mind?
Everything.
Is it good?
What does it say right at the beginning of the piece?
I can't say I know too much, but like the one on the top, it says soft enough
Uh-huh.
of a grand scale.
Uh-huh.
Like you want grandeur.
Good, good. About right here. Not bad.
I know like top.
Yeah. That one is getting lighter.
Larger, good. So largamente, yes, that's a good translation. Un po' ritenuto, but it's not just a regular ritenuto, right? What's
Un poco.
un poco? Yes, yes. Also, you speak habla español?
No.
No. What do you speak? English, of course.
Greek.
Said it.
Oh, I keep forgetting this one.
That's the easiest one because you see it everywhere. And French music.
Hmm.
Yeah. So why am I being just mean about language? No. Beethoven was the first guy who was very picky about writing in a score. Mozart, Haydn, no, they didn't get. Do you know the difference there? Mozart, Haydn did not publish to make money. Beethoven did. Because Beethoven was a self-employed composer in history, the first. Mozart eventually did too because he got kicked out. Yes, you know the famous story, right? Yes, and then Esterhazy, Haydn also worked, right? So that he was always a court composer. And later on he became useless, so he didn't write anything about from 1975. No, right, 1795. Anyway, why Beethoven? It's because he published and he wanted to make sure people play what he wrote. So remember the character indication and so on. Beethoven was the one who established the writings. And Beethoven is the one who enlarged. Beethoven was the first one who wrote anything but not in Italian. So if you look at the piano sonatas from Opus 90, no, Opus 98. From that point on, he writes lots of dramas. Right? Why? Because there was a detail that he could not express in Italian. He wanted true to be himself in his music, so he started writing in German. So then that's when we started having much more expressiveness. But then he eventually went back to Italian. I don't know. He was there, so he was crazy, right? But why, from that point on, why it's important is because also the metronome came in. So 1813, metronome was invented, and Beethoven was the first major composer who used it. So tempo indication from that period on is a little more reliable, not always, but anything before that, tempo indication did not exist. So if you see in the Mozart score, Haydn score, if you see metronome marking, that's by somebody else, not by them. Okay, and the Beethoven only put one piano sonata tempo marking. You know which one? Okay, yeah, that's a little bit more question. Hammerklavier is the only one. And why? Is because he did not so much believe in the metronome yet. And he was actually, by the time, very deaf. You know, right? So 1810, yeah, he can't really hear much. So he was sticking the stick into his ear and put a metronome and listening to it so that he could feel the vibration while he was playing. And he was also doing the same thing for the pitch as well. He can hear it, but when you put the stick in and connecting to the piano, he can kind of identify the pitch. And that's how he was composing music. Anyway, no, we should talk about Ravel, right? I'm sorry. Anyway, from that point on, the score writing became more obsessed composers. So everybody did that following Beethoven's path, and that's very important. But things changed in 1880s when composers such as Debussy, Ravel came up. Yes, impressionistic composer. Yes. No, the piano changed. That point, the solid piano, this shape was basically formed. Until then, the piano was always being explored. There are lots of new additions and so on. But from 1880s, it's exactly this. So pedal marking, tempo marking, character marking, all that is exactly how composers wanted it. So more than Beethoven time, Beethoven, let's say, Mori, die or something like that, and he writes. Okay, what does it mean? We haven't died, so I don't know, right? So there are very kind of questionable indications there. But in case of Ravel Debussy, it's very precise. They wrote exactly what they wanted in French. So it is very important for us to interpret that and follow it. So that's why I wanted to study that. And Margaret and probably you should write it on the spot because I forget too. The French is the one that I can't do. I do Italian and German, fine. Spanish, yes. So that's one recommendation. 2, what is Pavane?
It's like a funeral march. But this one is very light. It doesn't feel like like the previous one, the Beethoven.
Mm-hmm.
It's the "Oh, I'm happy with that" version.
Is this
Wait,
related
happy
to
one.
somebody?
Yes, it's for the dead princess. Yeah.
You know which country?
Which country?
Yeah, is it the Spanish one? And
I-
he's
I
from a
don't-
Basque region, which is very close to, it's right next to Spain. It's a mountain area, that's where he's from.
Hmm.
Anyway, also there's a trend and an impressionistic composer at that time. If you look at the literature of Debussy, you know this right away. Look at the titles. You see a bunch of the Baroque titles. And that's what everybody did at this time. It was a very fashionable thing to pick up old things. So using the title of old styles, but then fused with new harmony. So extended harmony, 13s, 11s, and 9s, and you hear power rhythms, and then octatonic scale and whole tone scales. Are you familiar with all this? Not the traditional one, that's more unique one, right? And then modal scales, of course. So those fuse together with Baroque styles, and that's what you play. Okay. Then also, infant of this is a Pavane is the image of not the current death. So that's why you said it's light. Yeah, Beethoven's one is more personal. It's him. He's seeing the funeral procession and so on. This is about the story about the infant who died in the past. So it's a very passive description of the story itself, not about you involving into the story. So, having said that, how do you want to control your tempo?
Very steady.
And that's what I would like. And that's why I think it was a very popular piece to orchestrate it, because it's easier for a conductor to compose, conduct, right? Imagine that. And it must be very difficult to. You can do anything, right? Yeah, he's with. So I
Just
guess.
have to wave a stick up and down.
Yeah. Anyway, so steady. Your balance was great, I thought. And you lose, very nice. So steady. No, steady, steady. Remember, in the Baroque period, music is very steady from beginning to the end. You know that, right? There's no tempo change unless they really indicate it. It's very rare to find that. In Beethoven's time, one movement having multiple different tempo indications, and plus ritardando, accelerando, very few. But then in a Romanticism, conjunction with a dynamic contrast, you make a tempo changes. So there's a progression of that happening, right? Then this is a movement that at the end of Romanticism, they're like, yeah, I'm done with Romanticism, which is, have you heard of a Brahms recording? Oh, you didn't know, right?
recording
Okay.
himself.
Find it on YouTube. You find, I am Dr. Brahms, Johannes Brahms. And he says that, and he says something, and he started playing like this. You know this piece? Hungarian dances? Right? Listen to that. And you understand what I'm talking about. There was a trend in the late romanticism that you are supposed to swing the tempo more than it's indicated in the score. And it's proven. Like, you listen to the Rachmaninoff recording, he changes the tempo. You know, everybody plays this way, right? So Rachmaninoff, coming from that time period, and lived a little bit longer, and then 20th century. So, but then there was a movement against that idea, which is coming from Debussy. He started out playing and writing very romantic music, but then he changed. He was like, "This is not me. This is not my style." And his idea was to put old things and then make it very coherent and not swinging tempos. So that's what Ravel is also in there. But then sometimes he fused romantic ideas in there. But then unless it's indicated, you want to stay. So very steady. Then you go to next page. That's when you change. Can you make it very simple? Like, as if you're talking to little kids. Like, once upon a time. Have you tried with that One, two, three, four, then arpeggio.
I like the interrupting the rhythm there.
You can put a pedal there, yeah. Close the phrase. But anyway, we go on. Okay, good. Can I ask what it says on the top?
Très longtemps.
Yes. Oh, good. You pronounce French better than me.
Yeah, but I don't understand it.
Very far away. How do you make the music sound very far away? Remember we talked about the character, right? This is exactly the character. It's not about the volume. How do you make the piano sound far away? Just soft?
thought about it, and I imagined what I wanted to hear, and it came out.
Good. And what was that?
Far away.
And you were able to hear, right? It was different. It was very nice. But see, me being a teacher, not just a
Yeah.
performer, one thing it's different when I teach is that if you can tell people what you did,
Well, if it,
particularly when he did it so well, I asked my students, what did you do? Because then you know exactly when you go home or in the practice room, you know how to teach yourself. Why are you taking lessons? So once you play very well and then that's it. Now you go home, you know how to practice. You know what to listen to. So if you can say it, that means you are very successful to teach yourself. And that's the purpose of taking lessons. So, what did you do?
well, when the piano is right next to you, it's more like, in your face, so more weight, in contrast to this.
Yeah, good. So what did you do? What did he do?
Lighter.
Maybe you can help him.
Yeah, it's
What did you hear? Well, you can answer it too. Yes. Yes.
It seems
shorter.
the repeated notes were less staccato.
Less, yes. That's good, yes. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just shorter sound.
Mm-hmm. Can I just borrow it? Just small story. I'm sorry, I talk a lot, and I hope you're not bored with it. You notice that I put the jokes a lot, right? The piano lessons are supposed to be fun, not. Oh, I'm so nervous. No. The piano people are very happy, cheerful. Okay. Anyway, my student came in and played Rachmaninoff Prelude like this. Somebody playing? Oh, good. Same approach. But I told my student when he played this, it's like, you make me believe that we are in Moscow. So many people. This is supposed to be tundra, like where I'm from, no sakura, right? Like not many trees and it's flat, icy,
Very
minus
cool.
20 degrees in Celsius, 10 F, 0 degrees. How about that? F. Very cold, right? Yes, and nobody's around. And I said, make me believe there's nobody there, just you. So, and then he was like, I don't know what to do. And I did. So, again, balancing sound. The more notes you have to balance your sound to create the image that you need. Here, yes, you are too busy. Paris, cold winter. No, we don't need that many people. So you make more space. There's no other notes are basically the color, like the icy,
You hear less of the accompaniment.
And that's what I have been talking about, the balance. That you have to create, you have to think of a character, and you have to kind of scrutinize and what works the best. You did it excellent though. Yeah, let's continue. Sorry, I'm not looking at the time. Can I hear that? And what does it say?
So more space.
Pour plus lent. I'm terrible with this French. I'm sorry if you speak French. So little bit more lent, meaning slower. Yes, so that they have to be big, and imagine that you're, yes, you are him. Imagine that you are conducting 90 people, 90 something students orchestra, right? When you're conducting that, I feel the same way. Sometimes I want to go forward, but I can't. I don't have a control. So you have to go with it. So, feel that motion. Very slow and big. Yeah, good. Those accents, can you do more? Excellent. Good. I'm not gonna let you play because I should probably stop. Otherwise, you're gonna get upset. What does it say?
First movement.
Yes, what's the move? There's a first movement here. Premier movement.
Yeah, from the
Tempo primo
yeah.
in Italian. So remember
Same as
you
the
went up
beginning.
speed faster, right?
Mhm.
Keep it steady. So that's to express old style music.
Yeah.
So you're expressing, with different colors, different balance, and so on. Baroque people used to not do this kind of thing. So you're using the old terminology of Baroque, the format, but then your color, balance, all that expression is still there. And that's a challenge of this piece.
Yes.
But you did nicely. So if you could balance that, that would be nice. Don't make it romantic music. Any questions? ¿Tienes preguntas?
No,
We'll do this next semester.
oh, you will?
Beautiful.
You cannot compete with me.
You can come to the concert.
To watch?
Yes, you inspired me.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Gershwin. I can do a patient learning. Since I didn't find the score. can I recommend that for you guys? Yeah? I think it's nice that this is the, as I said, interaction with, and some students come to me and say, oh, I just want to learn piano for by myself. And I was like, yes, so but doesn't mean that you don't want to play for people. And I said, no, I don't want to play for people. I was like, okay, so you want to be a deaf person? And she's like, excuse me, right? Deaf? Why, right? Imagine, I think Beethoven is a good example, right? So as the time progressed and he couldn't hear much, and what happened to his speech? Yes, start losing. How? Why?
Deaf people can speak.
Exactly. And why is that whenever we are talking, we are constantly making adjustments. And I'm very sorry, I'm trying my best to speak English best. Yes, I have lots of accents, I know that. I'm very sorry about it. Yes. But you understand what I'm saying, right? So, but if I say something wrong, yes, I fix it. I try to fix it. But the deaf person cannot hear it, so you can't make adjustment anymore. That's why the speech deteriorates. Okay? When we play piano, yes, you are listening to it. Who is listening to help you? So let's say, like, same idea, like, oh, I want to learn French, right? Then you pick up a Duolingo or a talk or whatever it is. But what is the purpose of learning French? You just want to know, and you think you're singing French, like me, right? No, you go up to a French-speaking person and try it, and then this person says, "Oh, you speak French." Isn't that excitement?
No, it's always gonna be, your accent is not good. For French people specifically. You picked the wrong
They are
language.
nice. They are nice. 30 years ago, when I went to France, I said, I'm not gonna ever come back here. They are rude. Right now, I go to Paris like once a year, and and even if you speak in French, and they're like, oh, yeah, American, okay, yeah, I speak it. Yes, I'm not even American, but anyway, they're nice, very nice people. But so my point is that you speak language, you learn it, you spend so much time so that you can communicate. Then, luckily, if the time they tell you, oh no, your pronunciation is this or that, so you make adjustment. That's when you improve. So your language is to expression and to constantly improve your speech. So if you don't speak the language, you forget. My German is terrible right now because I don't use it at all. Same thing with the Spanish. Yes, today I tried it and it was terrible. But because I don't use it. So, that's why this is very important. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on to you, yes? You play for people, and some things go well, some things don't go well. But also most important is, what you thought about in your playing comes out to people. Because that's why we play piano. We have this thought, beautiful thought, and this, and then we toss each other opinion. And like what I told you, it's more ancient, more baroque style, and infused with harmonies and so on, but if you don't do the tempo. So I give you the right information so that you can start thinking about it and so on. So it's basically a communication. So when you do that, you want to be welcome. So that's why take a bow, take a bow, and so that you're communicating. It's not just a performance. So it's all that attitude welcomes people. So that's why I want to emphasize. I'm sorry that I'm going on, and I think you're an excellent player. So, one thing I want you to think about this.
Yes.
I know you have lots of notes, and you're thinking, oh yes, jazzy and so on.
Waltzes. Yep.
Yes. So it's a dance, right? So, and yeah, I think you're accomplishing one aspect of it, which is, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, right? However, did you know in history there are not danceable waltzes? Because of one guy. Yes, you have an answer. Who is that?
Chopin.
Yes. Why? Do you know?
His waltz is really sad.
Sad? Yes. It's more personal. Yes. All right. Here, give you an example. You know this one, right? Composer? Very good. Excellent, you guys. Yeah? Look. You have an accent, right? A different Chopin waltz. Yeah, very good. Yes, left hand is staying the same format, but not in the melody. You're right. Chopin, he's a poet of the piano. That's what how we call it in Japan. I don't know if you do that in this country, but poem is a text. So there's a text, there's a singing. So when singing is involved, it's not. So it's not the danceable anymore because it's not steady. So Chopin is the one who screwed up the style of the waltz. So you see that? Huh?
He fixed it.
He fixed it? Yes. So I wanted to look at those two measure phrases in there.
Yeah.
So you see that you don't you want on the beginning, particularly this one. And you're trying to bring out accent, very nice, but you don't want to be That's what I want to do. Look at it everywhere, and that's gonna make it much better. Other thing is, again, the balance. So here you have arpeggio. Remember I talked about harmonic arpeggio. And also the right hand. Wait. This is the how do you call it? A hemiola. So you bring up one down. So that it's a 2 3. This is the same thing. So I just wanted to think about those two measure phrasing more, and I want to try. Again, imagine him doing. Who is gonna come in? So, and also I always tell that because I also teach chamber music. Chamber music is not about this. It's same thing about I don't find anything right here. But now imagine that I'm trying to toss something. Don't worry, I won't throw it. But if I don't like that person, I'm gonna throw it. Right? But if I like you, say ready, then I'm gonna do this, so that you feel that beat internally. Then you try to catch it. Right? So chamber music is that. So you kind of give signal. So yes, then that's exactly he does right there. It's gentle or fast. All that affect the musicality. So what kind of breath you take in the forte?
Deep.
Right?
Yeah.
Where's the tempo then?
Fast.
Is it the 3-beat breath? Pam, da, or is it pam? 1 beat. Okay, is it a deep breath? If it's only 1 beat, can you really take a deep breath? Yeah, it's a little bit shallow, but make sure that it's big enough. it's different. Yeah. Anybody, what does rubato mean in Italian?
Still insane.
Oh, I didn't know. I parla Italiano.
Oh,
Good.
mostly food related.
Ah, yeah. Cappuccino, spaghetti, yes.
Sì, acqua frizzante, prego.
Ah, good. Yes, I like that too. Yes. Rubato. Why is it important? So, no, first I need to explain. What does rubato mean? And rubato thinks, it's a freedom of a tempo, right? So in music, you steal the tempo from one section. And somewhere later on you have to put it back. And that's the concept of a rubato. So overall, in a bigger scheme of, let's say there's a pillar, right? They stay the same. And that keeps your tempo the same, the bigger scheme, right? But the rubato is changing within that. So you take these measures, pam, ba-da-da, so you're slowing down, then you have to make it up on the second half. Da-da-da-da-da-da. So to make up that speed later on, you have to slow down. And that's called rubato. And that's very different from ritardando, which is gradually slowing down, right? Yes?
Just something.
No, what's that? So, I know it's hard, right? And it becomes... So it's a slow. Pa-da-dum-bum, pa-da-dum-bum. First measure, second measure, it's a different tempo. It's not background, but you want to be kind of baroque. Yeah.
Yep.
Not that I can play very well, even of course I'm sight reading. I swing more, right? Like
Yeah.
the use, and particularly at the end of the phrase, the beginning of the phrase. Be free.
Okay. For sure, sir.
Yes. Talk, yeah. And I think this is a very important topic for you. What's the difference between beat 2 and beat 3 in waltz?
B2 is a little bit more than B3.
Okay. In what way?
B3 is finishing it, so it's kind of like more of a lift on it. So it should be 1, 2, 3, and 3 is like
Oh, good. Excellent. Now the question to everyone: in the waltz, beat 2 and beat 3, where are you? Are you on the ground or are you in the air? Yes. We are in the air. Yes. So yeah, I know many people don't misunderstand this. The music coming from these beats coming from our footsteps, right? So jazz coming from obviously this. That's the origin of music, right? And also march has the 2 beats, right? Always the 2 beats. You know what I'm talking about? March, right? Like. What's the name of this? I forgot. Pompous and the circumstance. Yeah, Elbert, right? That's 2 beats. Right? And then the 4 beat music also like this, right? 3 beats is not because we have 3 legs. You know that, right? So because of that, I always have to emphasize 3 beats is not for 3-leg person. It's 1, I don't want to dance because I'm terrible. 1, you kick the ground, and a 2 and a 3 go in the air. And that's an important concept. So beat 2 and 3 has to be floating. Then also have kind of different definition of beat. So like here, just one simple thing. And we're going to change that.
Yeah.
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 One more time, then we're done. Can you hear the difference? It's more flowing. yes, you are more militaristic when you came in today. And I was like, okay, well, yes, but you are encouraging everybody doing this. We don't have speed like, you know. So, but now it's swinging around. It's more fun to listen to. Excellent. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure working with you. And anytime you have a question, send him an email. I don't know. Should I give him whatever it is? Yes. And I told him I was very excited to meet you guys today because you know I went to the Chinese students here, right? Beida. I went there and they had a piano club. Excellent pianist. It was so fun. Like they understand anything I talk about, and it was in English. And they did excellent job. And I was like, I know you guys are very intelligent students here, so I prefer teaching non-musicians. They're dumb. Seriously, you know, they only practice, and we have to be equipped with more information, you know, not just about music. And so I always send them to, you know, study other things and do many different things so that, you know, you are a well-rounded person, so that in music, we are also well-rounded. And in the same sense, I'm going to go plead to you. I know you're going to go to more engineering and so on, technical side of it. Don't forget here, because you are the ones technologies, and I know it's for human, but sometimes, you know, we only focus on that. We forget about humanity. And it's the best that you play music so that you think about how to communicate. And that's why when I talked about this, you have to communicate, and that's the most important part of the music. So, excellent work, and I wish you guys keep playing your instrument. So, thank you very much.